What's going on, CK Nation? It's your boy, the Boss Man, CK. And on today's episode of the CK Motorsports Full Throttle, what a weekend we had witnessed in the world of racing. A Sonoma Raceway delivered one of the biggest storylines of the NASCAR season. Rising stars continue to make headlines across the country, and one legendary road racer reminded us all exactly why he's considered the best in the business. We got NASCAR Cup Series and O'Reilly Series at Sonoma, ARCA at Elko Speedway, and Cars Tour West Series at Evergreen, and much more. So, remember, we're all gas, no brakes, full throttle for Kyle, and let's get to it. Alright, if there was any doubt about who owns road course racing in NASCAR this past weekend, Shane Van Gisbergen erased that theory. SVG just didn't win at Sonoma. He dominated the entire weekend, sweeping both the O'Reilly Series race and the Cup Series race. It was another masterclass in braking, corner entry, tire management, and race execution. Every restart, every lap, every opportunity, Van Gisbergen looked like he was on a race of his own and another level. Chase Briscoe said it best. It was like racing Michael Jordan and playing one-on-one with Michael Jordan on a basketball court. When the field reached the technical sections of Sonoma Raceway, nobody had an answer. That's why we can officially say it once again. The king of the road course racing has reclaimed his throne. Like I said last week, when they were at Coronado, if SVG hadn't got caught up in that mess with Connor Zillage and Austin Hill, I don't know if Corey Heim would have went to victory lane. And that's no disrespect to Corey Heim. I'm happy for him because he shocked the world, but if SVG wouldn't have got caught up in it, I don't know. We might have been celebrating SVG's third win this past weekend instead of two. Drivers knew beating SVG would be difficult. Now they know it'll take perfection. As NASCAR continues adding more road courses to the schedule, the rest of the garage better find something quickly, because right now, Shane Van Gisbergen is setting the standard. Yes, this past weekend at Sonoma, it was the last road course of the season, but that doesn't mean that next year they don't add another one. I said it yesterday to my wife, yesterday, but in this past weekend. I don't know why I keep saying yesterday. Y'all have to forgive me. I don't know why I keep saying yesterday. But anyways, I said it to my wife. I said, if SVG can figure out the ovals and win on ovals, he's going to be a dangerous dude for the championship. Period. He said it in his Victory Lane talk interview that he knows that, yes, the road courses are here, but he knows that to get a championship, it's an oval championship, and he's got to get better. And he's getting better. So, like I said, if the man ever figures it out and is able to get the victory lane and gets there and starts figuring out the ovals, watch out, CK Nation. SVG might claim a championship here and there. One driver who quietly put together another impressive afternoon was Ty Gibbs. Road course racing has become one of Gibbs', I wouldn't say biggest strengths, but he's starting to get better, and Sonoma proved it once again. He stayed patient, he avoided mistakes, and he kept himself in contention all afternoon. And he actually drove through the field because he won stage one. He led all 25 laps, I believe it was, for stage one. I believe. Either way, he led all the laps in stage one, won stage one. Yes, he got shuffled back in the back of the field when he came back out from pitting because other guys that tried to flip the field when they pitted with 3 laps to go in stage one started in front of them because they stayed out when the stage break came. But he still drove his way through the field and he had an impressive top 5 finish. So, I mean, he's starting to slowly figure it out on road courses. While the spotlight belonged to SVG, Ty Gibbs showed he's becoming one of NASCAR's most complete young drivers. If this team continues to build consistency, don't be surprised if multiple wins are right around the corner. He's already got one. He won at Bristol. So, I mean, I feel like he's just a matter of time of getting his second win again. Sometimes finishing near the front against elite competition just says as much as winning. Now, as y'all saw when I posted it on Sunday, we had Chris Seabell put it out that he was not getting out of the car. He said, I will not get out. No matter what, I am not getting out because he knows that to stay in the championship hunt, he's got to get as many points as he can. And when he ran at Coronado, obviously you all saw he said it was uncomfortable for his wrist. Everything was just not feeling right to him. So he got out of the car on the first caution. Unfortunately, he had a really good replacement driver in Britt Cruz, and what happened wasn't Britt Cruz's fault, but the engine had an issue and the engine blew up. I think about 10 laps into Cruz's run. So unfortunately, Seabell had to take the lowest amount of points possible because of finishing towards the bottom. So he made it clear Sunday that he was not getting out of the car. No matter how bad that wrist hurt, he was not getting out. He wanted to get them points. And that's what I call determination. Christopher Bell entered Sonoma less than 100% physically. Like I said, questions surrounded whether he even be able to finish the race. Bell answered those questions before the green flag ever dropped. He wasn't getting out of that race car. Like I said, no excuses, no surrender, just pure racer mentality. Despite battling through the pain, Bell drove his way to another top 5 finish. That's what championship contenders do. And he's not had the best of years this year so far. But, I mean, he's still in the top 10 in points. So, he's still able... He could make the chase. Does he compete for a championship? Who knows? You never... See, and that's the thing. You never know when the points reset. Yes, they made it clear that the worst possible position to be in when the chase resets is in 16th because you're 100 points back. But you never know what can happen. But there's 10 races left. You never know what can happen in them 10 races. You could be 16th, 100 points back, and them other guys have issues, and you stay consistent and get a win here and there, and you get stage points. Shoot, you be battling for the championship. You fight through adversity, you maximize your day, and when the checker flag falls, you're still standing near the front. Christopher Bell reminded everyone why he's one of the toughest competitors in the NASCAR garage. Now, moving over to Elko Speedway, Saturday night, we had the ARCA Menard Series. And how about JGR driver Max Reeves? Another weekend, another victory. Reeves captured back-to-back wins after taking the checker flag at Elko Speedway. Momentum is everything in racing, and right now Max Reeves has plenty of it. Confidence grows with every lap, and he's pretty confident because I've listened to some of his post-race interviews, and that dude's pretty... I'll put it this way, he's borderline arrogant. I'll put it that way. But he can drive. I'll give him that. He can drive the car. He got into it with Landon S. Hoffman a few times. but at the end he was able to get past him and get in victory lane, and Landon ended up having some issues with the car. So and he has a good development coach in Bobby Labonte, probably one of the greats at JGR. So he's learning, and he's going to be something. I think maybe next year he possibly gets a truck ride. I don't know if it'll be full-time, but I see him maybe getting a part-time one. But watch out for Max Reeves, y'all, because he's one of a kind. He's dominating in the ARCA Menards E Series, and now he's over in the main series. And I don't know if it's a little too late for him to win the championship, but I mean, he's putting together good runs, and he's solid in that 18. So you never know, but maybe he gets a part-time ride next season with Hallmark Friesen, or even Tricon Garage gives him a part-time ride. I wouldn't be surprised to see it. Momentum is everything in racing, and right now Max Reeves, like I said, has plenty of it. Execution becomes second nature, and the team continues making all the right decisions. Back-to-back victories don't happen by accident. They are earned. And right now, Max Reeves is establishing himself as one of the ARCA Series' hottest young stars. Up next, we had Car Tour West racing at Evergreen Speedway. And we had a great I wouldn't say star-studded field, but really good field. And one of the coolest stories to come out of that weekend was that Keelan Harvick wasn't intimidated, and he wasn't overwhelmed, and he simply went out and drove. He competed in the Cars Tour West Pro Late Model Division, and Keelan drove around the competition, including and outrunning his own daddy himself, Happy Harvick. Yes, he outran his dad, Kevin Harvick, in that race, and I think Kevin finished P2, but yep. Keelan took his daddy to school and the rest of the field at Evergreen Speedway. To score an impressive victory like that, think about it. That's impressive. Kevin Harvick has built one of the greatest careers in NASCAR that anyone's ever seen. He took over a ride that was from a legend, a first-round Hall of Famer, a GOAT, the late great Dale Sr., and Harvick built one of probably, I wouldn't say the greatest careers, but one of the legendary careers, and he's a Hall of Famer. And I have no arguments with Kevin Harvick being in the Hall of Fame. Now his son is beginning to create his own legacy. Keelan's been doing his thing. I've been watching him from the go-karts all the way up to the Pro Late Model Series. And he runs in the Cars Tour West majority of the time. And he also runs in the Z-Max Car Tours at times too on the East Coast. But I think he mainly runs in the Car Tour West with his dad, because Dad has minority ownership with Z-Max Car Tour. But I think he has more ownership on the Cars Tour West. So they run more there. But Keelan's doing his thing. Winning against experienced drivers and even beating Dad shows the future is incredibly bright. This wasn't just another trophy, it was a statement that Keelan Harvick has arrived. So, let's hand out our CK Motorsports Weekend Awards. Yes, this is a new thing I'm doing, and let's hand it out. So I think we can all say, with a impressive victory Saturday in the O'Reilly Series, an impressive victory on Sunday, the driver of the weekend belongs to Shane Van Gisbergen, because again of his complete sweep at Sonoma and absolute domination. Once he got the lead to start the second stage, There was no turning back for him. And it was impressive to watch him race this past weekend at Sonoma in the Cup because of the fact that he complained about the car and said that it was just horrible. But he drove it to victory lane. Our hard charger of the war, our CK Motorsports hard charger award would go to Christopher Bell. Battling through pain with a fractured wrist and still bringing home a top 5 finish at Sonoma is very impressive. I would give our CK Motorsports Rising Star Award to Keelan Harvick. An unforgettable victory at Evergreen Speedway, taking his daddy to school on the racetrack and doing his thing. And he's got an impressive little winning streak down there. So, the Rising Star Award would go to Keelan Harvick. The CK Motorsports Momentum Award, I think, would go to Max Reeves for back-to-back victories and having everyone pay attention to him in the ARCA Menard series and realize what the future looks like for this young man is incredible. And I think the Quiet Performer Award will go to Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs is slowly showing us that he's not a fluke. A lot of people said when he took over that ride from the late great Kyle Busch, and he took that ride over, that he only got that ride because of his granddaddy. Yes, that may be true because of his last name. And a lot of people said he wouldn't be as dominant, which he wasn't really dominant in his time in the O'Reilly series when he won the championship. But they said he wouldn't be as performing as he did there. And yes, it took him a couple of years. I think this is like his 3rd season in the Cup Series. And yes, it took him a little bit. But the man's proven that he's not to be doubted. He won at Bristol. He's led a bunch of laps this year. He's consistent. And he's been impressive the last 2 weeks at road courses with Coronado and Sonoma. And he qualified on the pole for Sonoma. So, he's showing. So, another smooth, consistent road course performance that continues to build confidence for that young man. Alrighty, so, this past weekend reminded us why motorsports is so special. We watched greatness reaffirm itself with Shane Van Gisbergen. We saw grit from Christopher Bell, driving with a fractured arm. We saw that the future shines through Ty Gibbs, Max Reeves, and Keelan Harvick. Every generation had a moment. Every series had a story. And that's what makes racing so incredible. The season keeps getting better. The championship battles are heating up. Look, the Cup Series championship is only 1 point differential now. Denny Hamlin took the points lead, but he's only up by 1 point on Tyler Reddick. And if this weekend indication is any indication, we're always in for an unforgettable summer and an unforgettable rest of the season. So, with that being said, we're gonna wrap it up on the CK Motorsports Full Throttle. And again, I thank you guys so much for watching constantly. Continue to help build the nation. Continue to like, subscribe, and follow me on every social media post you can find. And just keep enjoying motorsports and enjoying what I love and what we all love that we can enjoy together. And like I said, until next time, remember, we're all gas, no brakes. We're always full throttle for Kyle. And I'll see you all on the next episode of CK Motorsports Full Throttle.